Hey everybody, this is Trisha of TrishaDyka.com, and for the next few emails I'm going to be doing videos to see how they come out and to see if you guys like the video versus the actual written emails. Personally, I like to talk, so anyway, today I wanted to chat with you about significant others and explaining to them what is an empath and explaining how you feel and what it means to be an empath. And I've been with my husband 30 years. So when this whole thing for empath actually blew up for me, it was about 10 years ago, I would say. And it was really, really rough because I, all my life, I pushed down being an empath. I pushed down feeling all these emotions. I did the best that I could to ignore what was going on. And what I've learned is that by doing that, you end up becoming a volcano. And then when you can no longer handle it, all of these emotions come flying up and just create total havoc in your life. And that's what happened to me. It was right around when the holidays started, and I was like, seriously, crying every single day. I was a mess. I was a fucking mess, guys. Like, nothing worked. I couldn't leave my house, or I chose not to leave my house because I would go out into public and I'd be like, just crying. I would go to work and I'd be crying. I'd come home, and because I tried to hold in so much during the day, I'd literally walk in my front door, shut the door, and sob like the end of the world was happening. And my husband didn't understand it. And at first he was super compassionate. What's going on? I don't understand. Please talk to me. What's going on? And I would just stand there and go, I don't know. I just don't know. I am so unhappy. I am so depressed. I am so anxious. And for me, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. This was not, how I was. So it took a few months to finally realize what was going on, that I was an empath and that I was feeling everything. And things growing up made sense. And things that happened to me actually made sense. And it would explain why I would go into anywhere, the supermarket especially, for some reason. And I would have these random people I've never met in my life come up to me and tell me their whole story. And it was interesting because it was actually, my husband and I who really started to do research as to what was going on. And he stumbled on what an empath was. And he goes, maybe you should read this and check this out because this really sounds like you. And it actually grew from there because I was able to start feeling these emotions and start clearing out years of holding on to everybody else's shit. However, this is where I became super vulnerable. This is where I needed to live my life. I needed to be true to that empath gift of mine. I needed to sit my husband down and explain everything. And a lot of it I held close to me because I was so afraid if I told him everything going on in my life, everything I was feeling, everything that was happening to me. So on top of feeling everybody's stuff, the guy next door, the guy down the block, just being at the mall feeling everybody's stuff, or when there are collective issues such as earth events, hurricanes, tornadoes, when things would devastate areas because the earth just erupted. You feel all of that. So then I had to sit down and explain, and I was afraid. I was afraid to be completely open that he was going to be like, she's crazy and I need to go. And I want you to understand something. All of that was a story I created in my own head. It was something I was afraid of. I never even, for months, gave him the opportunity to have this conversation with him. And by doing that, he noticed shifts. He noticed there was something going on. And I was unable to explain it. I'd be like, no, I'm fine. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. No. But my energy spoke louder than my words did. So he knew something underneath was going on until one day I couldn't hold on to it anymore. I just said, fuck it. Let the chips fall where they may. And I sat down and I explained all of my feelings. And I explained what's always been going on with me. And I explained, on top of that, these extra gifts that were popping out. Now, I can see spirits, right? It's just an extra gift. There are other things that were going on with me, like I could see colors. I can see colors everywhere. It's not on people. It's on people. It's on inanimate objects. It's on the sky. I was doing an Excel spreadsheet one day, and the whole thing just turned green, and I'm like, okay. So I started to explain these other gifts that I have and these other things, because I was like, I need to just let it go. I need to explain the sense of knowing. I need to explain how, because he knew I always had this extra intuitive gift where he would be like, what do you think of that person? Or what do you feel about this? And he would come to me for those types of things. And I actually did really well, and I'm sure you do really well with that as well. But I just decided, here it is. You know, this is what's going on with me. These are the things I can no longer handle. These are the things I can. And when I get twitchy because the noise level of the TV or what we're watching on TV is bothering me, I need to leave the room. I need, he's a ham operator, so he loves listening to different radios. And some days I'm unable to handle it. And I say, I want to leave the room. Or if he's like, no, 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 I want you to stay, then he knows he has to shut the radio off because it's just too much for me hearing all of that. So when these things bother me, I explain it. Same thing with TV. If you know, he likes to watch the gangster movies, and not for me. That violence is too much for me. Even some of these horror movies, I'm out. I can't do it. I choose not to. It's not that I can't, guys. I want you to also pay attention to your wording. It's not can't. You're choosing not to. You're either choosing to watch it or you're choosing not to. I choose not to, so I would leave the room if that's a movie he wanted to watch or something was on TV he wanted to see. So we've learned to communicate, as well as I would come home and be needy. Like, I would need to be corked up his ass. I would need to be hugged. I would need to be, felt like I was being heard. And sometimes it was overwhelming for him because he had a bad day. So we had to learn to communicate, and I mean really listen. So if he was saying to me, hun, I love you, but I cannot do this right now because I have had a bad day and I'm unable to be there for you, I wouldn't take it personally. I would just go to a friend, or I've created supportive environments for myself that I'm able to go into to have a conversation and have people to bounce off of. So if you haven't spoken to your significant other, sit down and have an open conversation. Sit down and be vulnerable. And one of the things that I always do before getting into a conversation like that is I ask the universe for help. I ask the universe that we could both be open and listen and communicate well with one another and have our truth be heard with love and positivity and be sensitive to one another. All right, so these are great tips for you to start using. But it's with, let's say you want to have a conversation with your friend about it or your family. That is one place I really don't share my gifts with because I love my family, but I also understand that sometimes we just don't see eye to eye on things. So I've learned what conversations to have and what stuff to not. And that's like a learning process too. So if that's something you need to do, then just learn what you can say, what you can't say, what you want to share, and what you want to share with people who are going to be open and understanding to you. All right, guys, if you have any questions at all, hit the reply to the email and send me a question. And as always, I offer one-to-one services. So if you need extra support, please hit reply to the email and we will discuss what is available for you and how I can help you. All right, have a great day.